Hello, true duelists. My name is Craig Fee, and as always, welcome to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Update. No news from the world of competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! This week, which means that I'm safe from having to analyze a format that I've played almost none of. Lucky me. You know who else is lucky? Duelists in Mexico who can look forward to attending the newly announced Team YCS, set to take place in Mexico City on February 11th and 12th, 2023. As with all Team YCSs, it's a 3-person event, so we can probably expect a few all-star teams to fly in and absolutely ruin the day of some kids just trying to have fun. Sorry kiddos, it's YCS time. Stay at locals if you want a good time. We're here to bestial each other out of existence. Still, that's why I love this game. Even bigger though this week was the announcement of the 250th YCS. Yes, it's time to duel around the world with 3 events celebrating this occasion. In Los Angeles, California, Bogota, Colombia, and London, UK, all holding events on the weekend of April 1st and 2nd, 2023. Exciting stuff, and all real far away from where I live, so I'm not going to any of them. Dueling around the world, anywhere I'm not. Good thing, bad thing? Wah wah. That's what the script says. The script says wah wah. So that's what it is. But yeah, there are no competitive events for the rest of this year, with the next YCS being YCS Sydney, set to take place on January 7th and 8th, 2023 in Sydney, Australia. Did you remember they exist? I didn't. In Master Duel news, we'll start first with the fact that this past weekend was the first of the EU Challenger Cup, with a 500-person event being hosted by the community's own Farfa. I unfortunately was unable to watch the event myself on account of having bills to pay and therefore needing a day job. Gross. But highlights I've seen were promising. Farfa was kind enough to share charts for the top spots of the event, including this rather colorful top 32 with over 13 different deck types. This is because Max C is a strong enough card by itself that it doesn't matter what deck you're playing, you just have to open it. Don't at me, I'm not responding to Max C comments. Top 8 was similarly diverse compared to TCG scenes as of late, with Sword Soul, Branded, DDD, Labyrinth, Runic, and Salamangreat. And then when I watched the stream, I saw Dragon Link win the whole thing, which wasn't on any of that. So that was how I learned, I guess there were 2 events. Or I'm just wrong. Maybe I'm just an idiot. That's also entirely possible. Still, I missed out, so haha, oops. There's a chance for players to win the bunny plush here. That's the real story that I'm building towards, because that's all that matters to me, is how easily can I get my hands on the Rescue Rabbit plush. That's the news that matters. Regardless, seeing Konami utilize Master Duel to hold events is a universal good thing if we're getting to the actual point here. And these events will be continuing through to late February. And despite what the Farfa and Friends channel might suggest, there are actually more Yu-Gi-Oh! Content creators than Farfa and NBT. Multiple events were held over the course of this week and will continue every week until it is done. If you're wondering what sorts of prizing is available for these events, it varies by the size of the event being put on, but pictures shown right here show that there's plenty up for grabs. First place will always get the Master Duel sleeves, a Rescue Rabbit mat, and a Master Duel hoodie. And if you be the one, the only, the great one who saves this script on the fly, the one who can win a 512-man event, you'll also get the Rescue Rabbit plush, a Master Duel jacket, and a Nintendo Switch. Exciting stuff. Now please bring it to North America. Please. I want the bunny. In other Master Duel news, we got news of a new solo story mode for the Mutant archetype. Finally, I'll experiment with those cards in a way Konami's deemed applicable. There's also a new pack for Sword Soul and Branded cards, and most importantly of all, a totally awesome buddy. Take my gems. I now have to get enough spare ones to buy the Toad. I like the Toad. This is coupled with some new cards was about all we learned at the Jump Festa. If you do want to see what new cards were revealed at Jump Festa, you can check out this week's new card report, linked here. And you know what? Yeah, self-5 for self-promo. That's what we love to see. Still, some new cards and a light Master Duel piece of news was hardly what the community was after in terms of news from the event namely being Jump Festa. Or maybe that's just the vibe you'd pick up if you watch content creators, as we all complain not so much for the sake of the game, but instead for the sake of free content. Come on, Konami. I gotta clickbait here. I gotta play to the algorithm. You gotta cater to me by having me cater to the algorithm. That's just how it all works. I already shoot myself in the foot enough in this series by showing a gun. Throw me a bone. Really though, that's probably for the best in the grand scheme. This game is complex enough as it is right now without adding the dreaded third pendulum scale or whatever else it is Master Rule 6 will eventually bring us. So props to Konami for taking the time to chill out for a minute. I'm okay with that. Now if you can make the metagame do that too, we'll be golden. In product news, the TCG has announced what it has planned for the 25th anniversary of the game. And you won't believe it, it's Duel Monsters anime support. Amazing. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say support? I meant just more of the same. It's more of the same. I didn't see this coming at all in the slightest. Not because I didn't predict it would be DM support, but because it's literally nothing new. The product announced for the anniversary of this fantastic game we all love is a reprint of the first Legendary Collection. A set that has already had a reprint in and of itself, and I know because I bought the one that was actually a binder back in like 2010. This set comes with 6 booster packs and 6 ultra rares. The booster packs are unlimited reprints of The Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon, Metal Raiders, Spell Ruler, Pharaoh Servant, Dark Crisis, and Invasion of Chaos, while the ultra rares are, of course, the 3 God cards, Dark Magician, Blue Eyes, and Red Eyes. But don't worry, because more than reprint a 12-year-old product, Konami also has decided to include 1 additional card in this version of the printing. Wow. That's right, alongside the 6 ultra rares in each box, you will also get a special quarter-century secret rare, which sounds pretty damn hype. One would hope that it would be a new and interesting card, but don't worry. You know what's coming. It's Blue Eyes. Or maybe it's Dark Magician, or Red Eyes, or one of the 3 God cards. Yes, that's right, the secret premium ultra mega rare that I literally already forgot the name of, the quarter century rare, is going to just be an additional copy of one of the 6 predetermined ultra rares. We have at long last reached the point where they're selling you 2 Blue Eyes prints in one product. The tablet Blue Eyes print at that. Are you excited? Can you tell I'm excited? You can tell I'm ecstatic. I bet you can tell that I'm just chomping at the bit to be able to buy this one for the 3rd time. I don't actually know for certain if it'll be the tablet Blue Eyes, but I would put money down on it. This set will be released in April of 2023 for $31.99 USD at MSRP. Gotta love letters. More interestingly, though, I think, for everyone, are the release of special 25th anniversary reprints of booster boxes of all the packs available in the Legendary Collection with the exception of Dark Crisis, from what I can tell. These packs will have special 25th anniversary markers on them to help differentiate them from the original printings, but otherwise will retail for the same price as a standard modern box of cards. In terms of how I feel about this, what, the sarcastic tones weren't enough already? I'll try to be fair here. Okay, for starters, I am not even remotely shocked that it's generic DM nostalgia support. That alone isn't all that offensive to me. It's the 3rd printing of the Legendary Collection that gets me. At least give us something new. You've given us the gold Sark tin, and you've given us the tablet tins. Why not give us special tins depicting like the literal tablet Blue Eyes and the tablet Dark Magician featured in the anime maybe? Or maybe you could give us the special Millennium Puzzle-esque box or something. It's kind of triangle-shaped. Or that's too convoluted? Fine. Give us the Millennium item tablet thing. You can print that on a box, no problem, and it's got each of the Millennium items on it. There's plenty of unique DM pandering opportunities here, and this 25th reprint of a 12-year-old set comes across as pretty lazy to me. It's the 25th anniversary. Let's celebrate it. That being said, I do really like the rerun sets of the OG sets. What a sentence. Sure, it's a bit of nostalgia baiting, I suppose you could take from it, but it's got some cards in those sets that are really in desperate need of reprint. Have you ever looked up the cost of buying Dimension Fusion? It's been banned forever, but it's still like 40 bucks. Getting more reprints of that from a re-release of Invasion of Chaos is very welcome, as far as I'm concerned. Plus, it lends well to Konami being able to promote more Time Wizard events of, older formats. By giving us access to the exact sets we would have had if we had been playing those sets originally, it's a good chance to be able to promote them, since now we can actually get the cards reasonably. So yeah, in my books, that's a good move. Also, if you're curious, these cards are all legal to play. They're fully genuine. Bring them to a YCS if you want. So that is great. Overall, it could be better, but it ain't terrible. I covered what the Wizards of Coast did in their recent 30-year anniversary shenanigans in an update, and we are leagues above that, so I won't complain too much. In community news. Sorry, Konami, this one's probably not gonna look too good on you. Zouloux is a name you might be familiar with. Or maybe not, because I don't know what you do in your spare time. I just make YouTube videos. Regardless, he's a YouTube personality with the literal exact talents that you've been wanting for this game since forever. Because in his spare time, of his own free will, he designed a functional AR duel monsters simulator of sorts, showing 3D models of monsters on the duel field in real time. Literally the closest we've ever seen to what this game was like in the anime to date. Pretty damn cool, right? Hell yeah it is. Even my, neutral take on the anime having ass gets pretty hyped for something like this. Too bad it's going nowhere. He has been unable to get approval from shareholders to continue developing or even using this technology. I won't pretend to know legalese by any stretch, and truthfully, it wouldn't surprise me if this had as much to do with anime licensing or something absurd as it does Konami specifically, just because it's representing the game. I don't know. I don't know legal jargon. I'm not privy to that shit. But if I had to assume, I guess the easiest conclusion to make is that Konami has stepped in to stop it. The question is just why? Again, we don't know. It could be an entirely legitimate reason. There could be, a case of enforce your copyright of lose it, so they have to step in and stop it. It could be comparable to the Metroid 2 remake situation Nintendo had a few years ago. Maybe they won't support this because they're already working on something similar themselves. Copium! I can't say for sure, but what I can say with absolute certainty is that it's a damn shame. And if you want to give Zouloux some love, go check out his channel. He's got some pretty good shit over there, and even if he can't use it in the future, it's cool to look at in the meantime. This week also sees the reveal of your choices for the Yugituber Awards 2022. Nominations have been settled on, and now you can pick exactly who you're going to vote for to win the actual award. Wait a minute. The popularity contest only features the most popular content creators? That's not fair, said fucking nobody, I hope. Everyone and everything on this list seems pretty damn fair to me, if I can say so myself. Matter of fact, the only thing that noticeably stood out to me was the lack of Duel Night. That seems like it should be in contention for Series of the Year, or at least to me. Even if you're not a fan of Sam, that's a well put together and well produced series. It's pretty enjoyable. But this is, based on people's voting, so what the hell do I know? And granted, while this does maybe have a slight MBT slant, if you can say such a thing, it makes sense. It's kind of expected in a certain degree. This is his event that he is hosting and he is promoting. Yeah, his fans are going to be the most invested in voting for it and the most aware, so that's not unreasonable. This is the first of such events to take place this decade, and I'm fine with it being a little out of center from the Yu-Gi-Oh community at large, if I can say that. Because if this can build enough hype, then maybe next year's can be a little more centered, for lack of a better term. If we can use this to grow, then it's good to go. And it rhymes, so it's true. Oh, I'm sorry. Was there not enough comedy in this last bit for you? Well, if that's the case, I got a little something I can pull out that I usually do, that usually gets the crowd's the winning opinion. I got it for you right here. What the fuck? We're supposed to pull out the dragon. It wasn't meant to be the... What the... Moving on. Also, broadly this week, I've seen people complaining. Shocking, I know, on the internet of all places. But in particular, it's been about Bystials. Yes, as it turns out, an entire archetype of monsters that aren't just DD Crow on legs, but also DD Crow on crack, and a solid engine of beaters, searchers, and disruption that hate on the two most common attributes in the game, has left a few people annoyed, to say the least. Oh, what? Are you someone who plays Lightsworn, or Blackwing, or Drytron, or Phantom Knight, or Teller Knight, or Burning Abyss, or Cyber Dragon, or Shaddoll, or Eldritch, or Branded, or Mech Knight, or Dark World, or Photon, Destiny Heroes, Exosister, Inzector, Blue Eyes, Orcust, Sky Striker, Infernity, or Lunalight? Yeah, well, MBT said it's skillful, and Jesse Cotton's having fun. So, shut up, maybe? I kid, of course. There's actually a solid discussion to be had here, I believe. Because at the top tables, Bystials are another layer of disruption and an extra bit of decision-making to consider. And thanks to the power level of top decks, it just makes a smart, well-timed Bystial feel all the more rewarding and less like, well, fuck me, it's Bystials again. Conversely, losing because my engine happens to be playing the wrong attribute, so now everyone just has access to DD Crow on steroids when I'm just trying to revive my Torn Scale from grave to make my one solid play. Fuck me, I hate Bystials. It's less than ideal. It'll be interesting to see how they're handled moving forward, as to me they feel a little similar to tier limits. You kind of have to hit all of them to meaningfully stop them. Sure, Serenir is nothing generically great by itself, but even without Magnumite, like a 2500 DD Crow that can double as, if nothing else, just link material, can probably see decent play as a standalone hand trap. All in all, it's an interesting discussion to be had, and shout out to Twitter, because I think I just found a new topic for a discussion video in the near future. Shoutouts, as always, go to today's sponsor, the LIFD Magnetic Card Display, a fantastic means to display the Bystials that you've got once they've been hit into the ban list, God willing. Happened to the OCG, it's probably going to happen here. If you'd like to get yourself a copy of a fantastic means to display your favorite cards or banned ones or whatever, go ahead and click the link in the description or type in promo code YuGiOhstrats15 at the checkout to get 15% off one of these fantastic displays. Thank you to LIFD for the sponsorship, and that'll wrap it up for this week's update. As always, I've been your host, Craig Fee, and make sure you subscribe to YuGiOh Strats for next week's update to impress your smoking Italian wife, and so that you too can be a true duelist.